level. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be doing a review of this palette right here, the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette in Norvina. It's what I use to create this look right here, so go ahead and stay tuned. Okay, so here's the palette, the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette in Norvina. Norvina is Anastasia's daughter, and I believe she's like a CEO or some kind of executive in the company. But so she partnered up with them and she created her own palette. Now, I'll be honest, when I first saw this palette on Instagram and on some other people's social media sites, I was not excited about it at all. I was not excited about the cool colors that I thought it was going to come in. I was not excited to have another accessory palette. You know, like I already have an accessory palette. That would be my Toofaced chocolate gold palette. Anastasia is very known for her buttery textured palettes. This was no exception. I absolutely love this palette. I have this palette and I also own the Prism palette, which is back here. I absolutely love that palette. I was kind of hoping, well, most of the time when a company goes through some kind of controversy, which was a subculture palette, every palette after that is usually on point. What was it? The Modern Renaissance palette and this palette and the Prism palette. I absolutely love those colors in the palettes. So here's the palette right here. In normal Anastasia style, here is the eyeshadow brush that comes along with it. So up here you get a whole roll of shimmers and then a whole roll of mattes down here. Anastasia is really known for her shimmer colors. They're really nicely milled and they're very creamy. For instance, this color Rose Gold, which is my favorite color. Well, it's not my most favorite. It's one of my favorite colors out of this palette. And that's what it looks like right here. That is Rose Gold, and I'll give you guys a swatch right here. I used that on my inner section of my eyelids today. And I also used this color Drama. It's not as creamy as Rose Gold, but it's still a good texture. It's a little bit more semi-matte in texture. Here it is right here. Okay, so I used this brush right here that came in the palette. I used Passion for my crease. I used Eccentric in the upper area, which kind of blended out when I added Drama into the corners of my eye. And then I used Rose Gold right here in the middle, and I think it turned out pretty well. I would say my favorite colors of the shimmers would be Wild Child, Rose Gold, and Celestial. That's Celestial here, Rose Gold, and Wild Child. And of the matte shades, my favorite shade is Passion because it just shows up really nicely, but it's a really nice transition color as well as a really nice crease color. Eccentric was my least favorite because I really wanted it to be a little bit more bright, but it's very dull. It didn't show up very well on my skin, as you can see there, but I think it's really good if you mix it in with Passion, but that's my least favorite. Also, as well as Base and Soul, because Base, I can't use that as a base. Soul, I really do like Soul, actually. I'm not going to say I don't like it. I do like Soul. I think Soul would be a nice color for a smoky eye, I think I had mentioned before, but here it is right here. Like just probably like a nice little smoky eye with a cut crease. I think that would be really pretty with that. So I would say if you already have like a supplemental palette, when I say supplemental palette, I mean like a palette that has already lots of common shimmers. For instance, I have the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. And as you can tell, a lot of these colors that are on the top of the Anastasia palette are in this palette here. So I have lots of colors that are very much like this. If you don't have a palette already like the Too Faced Gold palette, I would say go ahead and pick it up. If you're on the fence, if you don't have a lot of money, if you're trying to save some money and you don't have a palette like this, go ahead and pick it up. But if you do have a couple palettes like the Chocolate Gold palette, there's no reason to pick this up. I picked this up because I am a makeup lover and I love collecting makeup, and it's just what I do. So I was gonna get the palette anyway. So for this entire palette, I would give it an 8 out of 10 only because I can't use every single shade down here in the matte. So something else about Anastasia's packaging, I just really don't care for the velvet packaging because it gets dirty really, really quick. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but it's gotten visibly dirty. I've had to wipe it off with some makeup wipes, which does kind of help a little bit. But if you're a makeup collector, makeup lover, you know that having makeup all over this palette would get kind of annoying. Like the Modern Renaissance palette, I do not have that palette, but I really saw a lot of people's palettes when they were using it on YouTube, and it was like a light pink and like there was dirt all on it. And even now, some people still using it. It's like, oh my gosh. I was pleasantly surprised that this was as a brown girl friendly as it ended up being. Judging by the photos on the internet, I was not expecting it to be so brown girl friendly because there are a lot of colors in there that I thought, okay, that's not gonna work. But it's amazing how much I really like this palette. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I gave you some extra information if you were on the fence of picking it up or not. So that's it for this video. As always, stay blessed. Bye.
I loved you so hard that you made it look easy. To abandon our love, you left with no reason. All the things unsaid, my imagination's running.